Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if you're new here, my name is Tianna. I make fashion and lifestyle videos. I post 3 times a week, Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. I couldn't remember for a second there. I post lots of content for you guys, and I'm always open for suggestions, so please, if at any time you have a suggestion for future YouTube videos, DM me, leave in comments, whatever you need to do to get me that video idea. So today's video I am super excited for because it's something that I have kind of been working on and dealing with for the past 4 years. I am a 4th year of college, so I've done a diploma in fashion design, sustainable production, and now I am on my final semester of business administration. So I've lived alone for 4 years, which is absolutely insane to me. I've lived with roommates, I've lived with a boyfriend, and now I'm living alone. And living alone, I want to do a whole video on because it's a lot of work. It's really hard, but I think it's something everyone should do, even if it's only for a few weeks, a few months, a year. But after that, I feel like you should find someone to live with because it's really hard to live alone because you have to cook for yourself, buy groceries for yourself, entertain yourself. But that information is going to be all in a future video. Right now, instead of getting sidetracked, I'm going to be talking about budgeting and how to manage your money. If my mom is watching this, she's probably laughing at me because I am the worst at spending my money. Like, if I have it, I will spend it, and I will spend it on things I don't need. But over the 4 years, I feel like I've kind of gotten a hold of my money management, and it's because I have a few tips that I follow. I don't always follow these as good as I should, but I'm still working on it. So let's get into my 5 tips for saving money as a college student. Alright, so tip number 1 is only buying things you need. As you can see behind me, I have like a huge clothing rack, I have decorations, I have an Apple Watch, and these are all things you really don't need. They're not the necessities, especially as a student. So yeah, tip number 1 is buying things you only need. So that's gonna be food, groceries, phone bills, insurance, books, textbooks, all of that. Those are the necessities, those are the things you need. But don't spend money on too many clothes, decorations, watches, electronics. So if you don't need a YouTube subscription to have no ads, or you don't need a Spotify subscription, or you don't need to have a Netflix subscription, you could be using other people's, or you can just go without it. Don't spend your money on eating out because you can buy groceries for like a fraction of the cost of eating out. And this is something I really struggle with, especially living alone, because it's so much easier for me to just run to McDonald's and grab like chicken nuggets, but that's a $12 meal right there where I could spend $12 in a day if I ate at home. So choosing where you're spending your money and not spending your money on things you don't need, that's such a good first step when it comes to saving your money as a college kid. Kind of managing your money and not spending it on things you don't need is going to save you so much money in the long run, because $5 here and there is going to save you a ton of money. Alright, so step number 2 is going to be setting up a budget for yourself. So what I've done over the past 4 years is kind of figured out how much money I spend on groceries and how much I spend eating out or getting coffee, or on things that are more necessities like toilet paper, makeup, Kleenex, whatever it is. I set myself a budget each week and I try to stick to that budget. So some weeks I do go over and some weeks I go under, because you don't always run out of the necessities like peanut butter or toilet paper, so you're not going to spend that extra money on those staple pieces. But I do like to really budget on how much I eat out, or how much I use my credit card, how much I use my debit card, how much I buy coffee, you know, the things that you don't really need. But I do set myself a budget so I can enjoy the things that I usually enjoy. Because the thing about budgeting and saving your money is that it doesn't always have to be super strict. Like, you don't have to restrict yourself from doing the things you enjoy. So if you love to go get coffee, if you love to go for pizza with your friends, don't restrict yourself, but just put that into your budget so you know how much you can spend on those things. Alright, so tip number 3 is a tip my mom has given me for 4 years now. She's always harping on me for not using my credit card, not using my debit card, and only using cash. And over the past few months, this is something that I've really implemented into my life, and that is taking out cash once a week, twice a week, whenever you have that income coming in, using that cash only, like putting your cards aside and just using the cash. And I feel like that really helped me monitor how much I'm spending, because if you have it physically in your hand and you don't have any more, you can't spend anymore, and then it kind of you're like, oh, I've gone over my budget. So taking out cash each week and setting yourself how much cash you can take out and how much you can spend really is going to help you stay on track with how much money you're spending at school, and restricts you from spending money on things that you don't need. Online shopping is the bane of my existence because I'm always on Instagram, I'm always on YouTube seeing other people's clothing, and I get like FOMO when it comes to clothes. So I will go and search for those things and buy them on my credit card. And that's such a dangerous habit I got into like 2 years ago. So now I just don't use my credit card, I don't use my debit card unless it's things I absolutely need. And just having that cash, that's all I use for spending money. So at the end of the week or 2 week period that I took that cash out, whatever I have left over, I put into a jar. It's like a little kind of fun for the things you don't need. So tip number 1, I said, don't buy things you don't need. But if you have this extra cash lying around that you've, budget yourself and then had this little bit of extra, you could use that extra money to buy things you don't need. So you can go to a movie, you can buy a pair of shoes, you can do whatever you want to do. But it's within your budget still because you only took out that certain amount of cash each week. Alright, so tip number 4 is something I've been really good at my whole life, and that is buying things on sale. So for me, if I see a shirt and it's $40 full price, but it's on sale for $25, I'm like, oh, I need that shirt. So always waiting for the sales is super easy to do. So when it comes to buying things I don't need, always on sale. I always try to find that sale price, or even thrifting because everything's on sale but there's really nice product. And even getting groceries. Grocery stores have sales all the time. You can go to Walmart, they're always having their rollback sales, or else Safeway, the first Tuesday of every month, I believe, is when they have like their big sale on produce and groceries. So going and figuring out when these stores have their sales, that's going to really help you save money because you can save 50 cents on a jar of peanut butter or whatever it is. And that little bit of savings is going to add up to so much more savings in the long run. Alright, so my 5th and final tip is going to be waiting a week before buying the things that you don't need. So my rule of thumb when it comes to buying clothes, because I do spend a lot of money on clothes because it's what I enjoy and it's my kind of my career is clothing, so this is kind of my big purchase items. But what I do is I find the things I want, I wait a week, and I keep those things in the cart. So I always obviously order online, so I keep those things in my cart, and at the end of that week, if I don't need those things and if I don't want those things anymore, I take them out of the cart. And if I still want the things that are in that cart, then I'll get them. So giving you that time to kind of like not have those spur of the moment purchases where it's like you're not thinking properly, that's gonna save you so much money, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone on H&M, on Zara, on Lululemon, where I've seen something I really like, buy it, and then like a week later I'm like, why did I buy that? Why did I just spend $100 on things I don't actually need or want? So giving yourself that week is going to really help you kind of focus in on like what you actually need and actually want, and that's going to save you money in the long run as well. Okay, so that is all my tips that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys found this video a little bit informative and might help yourself out when it comes to saving money as a college student or even as an adult in general. Being an adult is hard. Like, let me tell you, working, going to school, spending money, saving money, all of that is very hard and a lot to figure out. But having some tips and doing your research is going to really help you in the long run buy a house, buy a car, or whatever you're wanting to do with your money. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, as well as comment down below if you have any more money saving tips for us. Have a great day, guys!